Okay, let's go. In the previous session, we was reviewing how we can obtain the data from logs analytics and start building some very basic numbers. But now the idea is show how we can build the first report related to Entra. In that case, as I mentioned previously, the idea is use a variable for our workspace ID that permit to more easily reuse the template without need to go to all the different queries changing the workspace ID. On this case, we will start with this one, workspace ID, and this is my workspace ID from my environment. Here you can see, and now we will start building all the informations that we need to start collecting this data. We have our workspace ID and we'll start requesting all the information. In this case, always we need to go to our workspace and start building the different queries. In the MPARR site, we can find almost all the queries that we are using. In this case, let me check if it's in the first one. No, it's not in this one. It's in the last one. Let me see. Here we can obtain the information about users. Let me copy this one and execute this one. What we are doing here is collecting the information from the last 30 days. Remember that we set in the task scheduler to refresh this data monthly. In that case, collecting the information only from the last 30 days can be enough. Additionally, we are deduplicating the data. We're removing duplicate using this function from summaries. And those are the different attributes that we are collecting and taking to our report. For any reason, if a field doesn't exist, we will see that field is marked with an under the red line saying that that specific field doesn't exist. That is a very common issue with Microsoft Entra because we are not adding country or because we are not adding city or any other attribute. We will see that attribute doesn't exist and we can remove, or my recommendation is at least connect to Microsoft Entra, add to at least to one user, city or department or office location, and then execute the MPARR Azure ID user script to collect the data again and start building this. Okay, I am running this script. Now I need to export this as an M query. I will take this information, Control A, Control C, and on Power BI, new source. By the way, I am in the transform data menu, previously selected from here. Previously, I select that one, transform data. In that case, I can work directly here, adding all the sources, long query, advanced editor. We remove the previous information that come in by default, and we paste our information, our query. And here because now we are using the variable workspace ID, we can remove that at double quotes, double, this is one is
ampersand.
the ampersand, yeah. And we use the workspace ID variable. We will need to do this in all our queries.
Yeah.
And now you can start seeing your information. Working with another environment, what's happened with the user principal name? We found that the user principal name, the KQL, is case sensitive. For that reason, I found a same account duplicate because in one of them was the name and the last name was in lowercase, and then another UPN was with the first one in uppercase and the rest in lowercase. To be sure that we can remove all the duplicates, what we can do is select the user principal name column, then sorry, on transform data, we can here's the format. We can capitalize each word to be sure that all our UPNs are right in the same way. And then we have the options to remove duplicates. In this case, I did a right click over the column, select remove duplicate.
Okay,
Then
perfect.
in this another is the same as user principal name. We will use this one to split the column by a delimiter, and we will select the add. Why? Because with this exercise, now we can have the alias, and we can use the alias in other case. I will rename the column to alias. And in the second column, I will put domain. That permit me to identify if you have a tenant with different organization or different domains, finally separate the report based on the domain. That is our first step to start building our report. And Microsoft Entra users. Okay, we have our first table created here with the information. We have the alias, we have the domains. Here we will need to work on this one. This one is related to the licensing, but the other information that we will need here is the friendly name, because if you saw here, the names of the license are only IDs and in some cases short names. Now we can go again to the MPARR page. Here we have the query for domains. I will start working with domains. I take the query, I paste here, I execute this one. This one showed me all the domains that are registered on my tenant. This information is collected after you run the MPARR HRID domains. export as Power BI. Oh, sorry. My mistake. Export as Power BI as mQuery. We open the file, select all, Control-C. And now at home, new source, blank query, advanced editor. We remove the previous information. We paste. Remember, change the workspace ID here with the variable. Double quote, double ampersand, workspace ID. Take care with the spaces previous to the variable and after. Done. Now we have our domains. Microsoft Entra domains.
You
Nothing
are
to
uploading the tables for the different queries that you have, that data. Good.
Yes. Now I need the roles. Let's go. Again, you can go to you can create your own query, or you can reuse the queries that I shared in the MPARR GitHub page. Play. Sorry. Remove this. Control B. Run. Now, this information coming from the MPARR Azure ID role script. This one showed me all the users that have some administrator roles. Export this one as mQuery. Again, we select all the information, Control-C. We go to Power BI, new source, blank query, advanced editor. We remove the previous information, paste. Remember, change the workspace ID. Double quote, double ampersand, space, workspace ID variable, space. Nothing to change. Remember that we are collecting all the time the last 30 days because we are assuming that the MPARR script are running in a task on the task scheduler and you're refreshing the data at least monthly. Some of the scripts are set to run weekly, other every 2 weeks, and another monthly. Take care on this. If for any reason you select this one and this coming empty, that means maybe you run the script, but the data is older than 30 days. In that case, the recommendation to have up-to-date the data, run again the script, or go to the advanced editor and request the last 60 days or 90 days.
Yep. Question.
Yes.
When I do this from Power BI to the log analytics, do this table is going to be updated automatically, or do I need to go to Power BI and run this query again? Just
to refresh the
how we know,
data.
because let's suppose there is a new user. Let's suppose we add a role, and this is running every 30 days in the server I run in the script. Is this automatic updated, or
No,
do I
you need
to do something
force
manual?
to refresh.
How we refresh? Refresh how we refresh?
Refresh with the refresh button, or in the principal, we will see that in the main window. After
Yep.
we will start seeing all our data here, we have the options to do a right click and refresh. There is other ways to force to refresh that automatically. The idea is work that later. But for the moment, we are focused to build our report. For that same reason, in the Power BI template that I published, I added the last update time. That for me to have an idea about when was the last time that the information was refreshed.
Yeah. No, that is good because in that case, I access the report and the report has the previous month. I just refresh the data. What it does is they connect, the Power BI is going to go to Log Analytics and pull the last data that is available in that Log Analytics when I hit the button refresh. Perfect. No,
Yes.
understood. Thank you. Continue.
Okay. Let's go with the rest. Now, remember here on the Entra user, we have the IDs of the license. We have the domains. We have the roles. The idea of the license means that we need to use the MS product table. The MS product table is created after you run the MPARR export to CSV, and we take some specific file. In this case, let me see if we have that one here. Here is the MS products. Let me go to MPARR and execute this query. Let's see. You can see on my case, I am running the query and I don't have data. That means I execute the script more than 30 days ago. In this case, I have turning off my machine that used for the collector. For that reason, I will try to request the information from the last 90 days. But again, the idea is try to maintain that information up to date. I will export. I will take the information, Control A, Control C, go to this one, new source, blank query, advanced editor, select all of these, Control B. We need to use the workspace ID variable,
Yeah.
double quote. Yes?
No, it's great. I understand that portion.
Workspace ID and the current spaces before and after. And here we have all the Microsoft Entra we will call this one Microsoft Entra licensing. Microsoft Entra. What we can do now to start creating the different report for the Microsoft Entra user, I will create a reference table. And from here, I need to remove almost all the columns. We will work only with the user principal name and the assigned license. In that order, I will remove alias, domain, display name, because all that information is in that one. I will remove city, job title, department, mail, office location, user ID, last access, remove columns. And now, from transform data, I will start parsing this information, parse as JSON. Now it's a list. We can expand to new rows. We need to select all the columns. My recommendation is use the original column names as prefix. Always check loading more if for some reason a column is not appearing. Okay. And now you can have that I have the SQID, and inclusive I have the information about disabled plans. Now I have all my information. And what's happened? For some users, I can have more than one license assigned. I will call this one Microsoft Entra User License. And now, at least on the on the report that I share, I did something similar with the Entra licensing. I create a reference table, and I have the service plan ID, the Git. We need to use the Git information. Yes, I will remove all the rest. I will only maintain the product display name. This is the friendly name that normally we know from the public pages about Azure Active Directory Premium Plan 1 or Microsoft 365 Enterprise or Microsoft 365 Business. You can see here that normally some tools return a char name or the IDs. I will remove all of this. You can maintain or not, and on this case, I am using only this column, product display name. You can see here normally are the common one, but if not, the other options can be used the service planning with friendly names. I will remove the columns. So, remove columns. And now we are ready to go. Let me change the name from this one, Microsoft Entra License friendly name. Close and apply. All the information is low in our Power BI, and now we can start building the reports.
Okay, yeah, because you upload all the data from Log Analytics to here. One query that I think that we should add is, for example, the device, because sometimes we have a stale device, and we should know that is another report that we can build in the future, and we can do the query to upload the devices and see
Yes.
the stale device, because we don't want to keep device that is not being used or never are being connected.
Yeah, there is a way to collect that kind of information. Right now, the script, the MPARR user script, only collect information from a business unit, location, that kind of information. But there is a way to extend the script to collect all the devices related to a user. But that if we want to work with Microsoft Entra and devices. Remember, for the rest of activities, when you apply labels, when you have DLP rule matches and several other information, the device name is registered with the user that was logging. In that case, that information can be collected about devices. But in this case, for Microsoft Entra, at least the current script are not collecting the information from devices.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, we have our information here. And now the next step to start building the report is create the relations. Here in the left, we have three icons with menus. The first one is for the visuals. The other one permits us to see the different information for each table. And the last one is related to relations. In this case, because I create a reference, a table reference from this one, this relation was created immediately. But we need to start creating the rest of relation. Normally is only drag and drop. The only thing that we need to take care is validate that the direction is in both directions. If we want to use the filter at any moment, we need to enable the direction to both. I have here the license. Microsoft Entra licensing. Give me a moment. There is some tables that we are not seeing here. Again, if we have some doubts about the information that we want to use, as an example, here we have the user ID. And if we saw the roles, in the roles, we have the user IDs as well. And by the way, I forgot to make an additional step in the roles one. Give me a moment. We will go to there because the information about who have which role is in a JSON format as well. Here you can see all the members. In that case, we need to split this data. We go to transform data, parse, JSON format. We need to start extending all of this. We remove use the original. We use the load more to validate that all is collected. And now we have the ID. This ID is the user ID. This permits us to understand who have the access to the role. Let's see. Now let me go here, close and apply. And here on the relations, Microsoft Entra roles, we have the IDs and we have the user ID. You can see the relations is many to one. Normally on this structure, we are waiting to have many to one all the time. The other license here is where we create this one, Microsoft Entra user license. Give me a moment to move to here, move this one to here, and from the SQID, we need to go to the it. This is many-to-many.
But question, when
Yes.
you move the SQID, you just connect SQID, that value, to this table.
Sorry?
When you are connecting this from the SQID to this table, you took the SQID and you drag and drop that SQID in the Microsoft Entra, right?
Yes, in this Microsoft Entra licensing to the IDs.
Good. Yeah, that is a very key point, Mr. Patrick, because in the future, we are going to have sensitive info types and sensitivity labels, and everything is too GUI and friendly names. And we have to create that relation between the different tables to show a friendly report. Continue.
Okay. All our relations are in both sides. And let's start drawing. One of the first things that we are seeing is the total amount of user. In that case, we can use this card, this visual that contain 1, 2, 3 in the icon. I can go to the Microsoft Entra users and move the user principal name as a field. And here we can select count district. This is the total amount of my users on my environment. And we can go to the visuals. I want to remove the category labels. That is the bottom one. Here in the callout value, you can change the the size, the color of the letters, and maybe this can be important, how many decimal values that you want to add. For some people, it can be a little annoying, have 2 decimals, maybe for the numbers, or 3 or 1. On my case, I will select only 1. You can select inclusive 3, but in that case, if you are using 3 decimals, this K for the display unit doesn't make sense. We need to take care on that point, how many decimals we will use. If you want to add other any change like bold or cursive, all of that is here. And now we go to general. I will enable the title. And here I was using total licensed user. This is very important to have in mind. On my case, the script, the MPARR Azure ID user script, is collecting the data from all the users that have a license assigned. It's not collecting all the users from the Microsoft Entra. That is something to here. We will see only the users that have at least 1 license assigned.
I have a question. Why do you say 50K? It's not so many.
Sorry?
50K. 50K is 50,000, right? User
Yes,
with license.
50,000 users.
That is the user. Okay, good. And yeah, and in the future we have to differentiate with the Azure AD attributes when the device is a user or when there's a resource or when there's a different that is coming from the QQL and the Azure AD attributes to differentiate my inventory of the user that has been created in my directory.
What's happened, and this is very important, this is the MPARR Azure AD user script. In the principal query, we collect all the users that have a license assigned. And we are taking the information about user principal name, display name, sign-in activity, assigned license, assigned plan, city, created date time, department, job title, mail, office location. If you need country, you can add country here, and here at bottom, we need to add that country as well. We will record another video to discuss that. But the most important point is we are collecting only users that are set as member, user type is member, and have a license assigned.
And you have
Why?
a feedback there. Yeah, go ahead with the why.
Why? Because depend of the organization, you can have several guests, and that can make a lot of noise with the guest, or in some cases with the Azure AD Connect, Microsoft Entra Connect, now it's the new name. Some organizations synchronize the complete Azure Active Directory with all the users, inclusive services account. For that reason, to reduce all that noise, we are collecting only information from members that have at least one license assigned.
Yep.
That
And to my
is
suggestion,
how yes.
as you say, the idea of this report is that we keep control of the user that is in the directory. Okay, and that's why, as you say, the guest is gonna do a mess because maybe it's a lot of guests, or guests never connect, or account that never exists. But for example, my suggestion is for the users, we should have one report or one script that is collecting all the users. And in the report that we have in Power BI, we know which users should be there and which users should be deleted. So for guests, I think that we should keep that information, or we should discover that information in the reports. This is just another upgrade suggestion that you may take in consideration.
Yeah, if you want to collect all the information from all the user, you can comment the filter.
Yeah, because
If,
I think that it's important. That data, that is the data that I would like to see. I know that I have user with license, that is the user that should be connected, but my focus is also to see what is the user that exists in my directory that in theory shouldn't be exist. That is information that I think that I can get from this report.
we can do that exercise in another session, but if we comment filter, you will download all the information from guest members with or without license.
Yeah, that is the thing. If I comment filter.
Yeah, you need to comment the filter. I believe that is enough to obtain the information.
Yeah, because I want to see everything that I shouldn't have. Okay, good. Continue.
Yeah. But back to the report. On my case, I have 50,000 users. What's happened? I create a lot of dummy account. Is for any reason you want to remove some dummy account, or maybe from some specific domain, what we can do is add a filter to this visual, to this page, or for all pages. On this case, for this exercise, I will take the user principal name. I will add this filter to all the pages. And here in advanced filtering, I will say that the UPN, the user principal name, not contain a user, because my dummy account, I have 50,000 dummy accounts that start with user. and I can apply the filter, and now I can see the common users from my environment. You here, remember that all the time you can go to the table view, and here on the table view, you can see the information. And you can see that I have several users called user from the 0000 to user 50,000. If you want to apply, as an example, if you want to create a report for a specific domain, we can filter on all the pages for the domain A, only the user from the domain A or the user from the domain B, and then we can publish that information to the domain A manager or the domain B manager or the business unit X or the business unit Y. In all the cases, you cannot apply the filter here for that information. Okay, I have my users. The other visual that I use is the one to put all of that in a square. It's not a big deal. You can start tagging here. All the options are available in the visuals. But now we can see that I have my total license. I write in there. Sorry, I need license. I write something. License. Yeah, it's that N. That is the one that is generating noise. No, okay. Now we can see, we want to see the domains is the same exercise. I take this visual, call it card. I select the domains. I can say I want to count distinct domains. On my case, in this one, I have only 2 different domains. By the way, sorry, this is my mistake. You can see here I am taking the information from the Entra user. That is not correct. I need to go to the Microsoft Entra domains and count the domains, the different domains.
Yep, that is important because everything that you do here is going to be documented in the steps, and the people is going to follow these steps. And thank you very much for that confirmation, because we have different tables, and from the different table, we are taking the different columns or the different values. Thank you very much.
Yes. Okay. Remember, this is very important. Let me see the why I have a tab here related to, because I have 3 domains, but it's showing me only 2. Let me see what's happening here. I selected domains from this one. Appear that is because the filter that I'm using. Yes. We need to take care with the filters. In this case, I will add the same filter, but only for the visual, because the filter that I am applying to all the pages is affecting me as well, the domains. Why? Because in the relation, I have the relations in both directions, because I was removing some user, and those user have a specific domain that is not available for the rest. The number of domain was reduced. That is a very important to have in mind. We need to take care in which way we are applying the filter. I will apply the previous filter only on that visual. I will remove, as I mentioned, as advanced filtering, not contain user apply filter, but my domains are 3. Again, you need to take care with the relations because we set all the relations in both directions. And because it's set to both directions, any change that we are doing is replicate to the other tables and visuals. Okay, total domains or domains registered, domains. We can change the size of the letter. We can change the colors. We can add different information, and I want to, for this one, for the value, I want to reduce to 30. 30 is enough. The other thing is, in some cases, you can have more than one on Microsoft domain. If you want to remove the on Microsoft domain because that is the tenant domain, again, we can go to the visual filters and we can add the filter to the visual and remove not contain on Microsoft. Sorry, I don't apply the filter. Apply filter, not contain on Microsoft. Apply filter. Okay. If I validate this one, yes, I have 2 domains that are not on Microsoft. I want to see the user by domains. Let me add the border to this one. It's only to be clear in which part we are working. Virtual borders, enable. And now I want to see the users by domain. Okay.
Yes.
I will use this pie chart. Sergio, you want to ask something?
No. It's just, yes, the portion of that is important that you are going to start adding pipe, because in the graphic or in the report that you have built, you are showing us how to count, but the graphic is very, it caught a lot my attention, and I like it when you began to show it. Thank you.
Okay, the legend is the domain. I have my domains. We have 2 options here. We can use the Microsoft. Remember that all of this is a cross, or in this case, I will, because in the previous step, we separate in the Microsoft Entra users, we separate, remember that we have the user principal name, and we split that column on alias and domain. In that case, the legend will be domain, and the values can be the user principal name, and we need to count distinct. We need to work with the colors. In this case, I am my 50,000 user are on Microsoft, are cast demos and not on Microsoft. What can I do is, again, I can filter. Depend in which way I want to show the information, I can filter the data. we need to understand that, and that is another discussion about which kind of information that we want to show. On this case, I am removing my dummy account, and it's more easy to see. The other thing that we need to take care is with the colors to finally show something that can be easily identified and not similar colors. I want to be clear which one is one. And you can see here the values and several other information. Or you can rotate the pie chart to show the data in another way. Here we have the legends, the titles, and in the general, we can change the title. The title normally is created by default with all the components that we are adding, but we can change that one, users by domain.
Sebastian?
Yes.
I noticed when you added the visual filter to the pie chart, the domains registered changed to 1. So now there's only showing 1 domain registered.
Yes.
So when you're applying filters to the visual, you're like each box has a set of it has its own filter, but it's applied to the entire page.
Let me see. No, it's the problem is, this is very important. I was selecting one of these. The advantage when you use the Power BI is you can easily use the same chart, the same visuals as a filter.
Okay, so it's all dynamic.
Yes, on my case, because I removed on Microsoft from this filter, if I select the domain on Microsoft, this one is shown as blank.
Okay.
But now we have the number 2 that was previously.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you.
Yeah, it happens that for some reason I pressed something, and that was the big deal. Why that number changed?
Yeah, I hadn't caught on that everything was dynamic as you're doing it as well.
Yeah, the other important point, well, here we are seeing we need to take care with the titles. Now I am in all the report that I am releasing, I am using the visual border. It is only to be clear which data is for each information. But if you want to change that, you can do that in any moment. The other thing is take care with the sizes, because depend of the size, some numbers can be disappear. You can see here that because the size, the number here at the bottom disappear. What we can do is rotate this one to give options to appear, or increase a little the visual. You can see here. You have some guides to have all the ones in the same size. The other report that was available there was related to the last connection. Again, you can call, at least that is something that I do all the time, is coming to the table view and start seeing which kind of information I have available. And some of the information is related to the last access. In that case, I want to show the information about last access. I will use again a pie chart, and I will select for the P chart, the legend will be the last signing, last access, and the users will be the values, and I can count distinct. And you can see here, I have 50,000 users. I can filter the users. Let me user principal name. This is the filter for the visual. Advanced filtering, not contain. I am adding all the time this filter because that 50,000 user generate a lot of noise in my chart, but normally we will not apply those filter because all the users will be right user. And now I can see that I have 29 users available with a license on my environment. I have 2 domains different to the on Microsoft, 2 additional domains additional to the on Microsoft. The 26 of this of this user have the cast demos domain, and 3 of them have the on Microsoft. And I can see that the last access for all my users, 7 of them doesn't have any access to my environment from the last 3 years. We're okay until here?
Yep, thank you.
Yep, I'm okay. Thank you very much.
We can separate the data. We can go to quarters, monthly, daily, by month. There is several ways to start generating the report. The only thing is start playing with the different filters. On this case, at least for me, make more sense do by year. But you can, again, you can filter by 2023, and then you can start separating by quarters or by month. Depend finally on your customer, which information that you want to show. We can have different values. Okay, let me move to this one here. The other thing that is very important, I will not change the titles. I believe that is clear now. Anyone can change the titles and put the best titles for this information. The only thing that I will maintain is the borders, only to show the data. The other thing that we was discussing is very important, and it's related to the last update. Again, we can use the card option. I will add the card here. You can use the guide to maintain some order. And here I will take the time generated as a field, and I will request the latest one. On my case, the last time that the information was updated was on October 11th. We can change the way how the information is shown. You can reduce the size. You can change the colors. You can change the the numbers. You can add properties, or in this case, a title to say, okay, last update And as we was discussing, this information can be very helpful because maybe I am seeing an old information. I need to know when this information was updated the last time. I will use a visual border to separate this one. Now, I want to see, as an example, the information by roles. Let's see how we can use the information by roles. That's another very important. And I will start showing more details. I want to use this chart. On the X, I will use the role names. And in the Y, I want to use the users. In this case, the user principal name. We need to take care on this. Is for any reason, remember that in the query, we are collecting the data from the last 30 days. We remove duplicate and several things. That suppose we don't have duplicate information, but if you want to be 100% sure that you are removing all the duplicate entrants, you can use these options to be totally clear. And now we can see the different roles that was assigned on my environment, and we will start building the report about who have those roles. And now we can see the compliance administrator, global reader, global administrator. Here is a security administrator. We're going to start playing with this information. Normally, in some cases, can be more helpful if you remove the title for the for the chart, for the X row or the Y column. You can change the titles. That is in general. What is pending in the Power BI template? We have several other things that we are showing, but based on time, I will show how we can start creating the page that is used to show the information. Because yes, I have the 29, I have 2, but after that, if I select 26, I want to see the name of those 26. Or if I select compliance administrator, I want to see the name of those compliance administrator. And we will go to that point. Effects, feature border. A little things previous to that. Insert image. If I want to add a logo to my report, the Microsoft Entra logo or any other logo, as an example, this one, I will take this one, and here on format, we can set to back.
Mm-hmm.
But here is something very important. In all the visuals, by default, here we have in the general, under effect, that the background is set to on with a black, with a white background. If we remove that one, we can start seeing the image at the bottom. If we want to use an image, we can use that image as a kind of watermark or something. Here we can start playing with the information. with the colors, or put something more clear. Here we have the styles. We have if we want to give an actions, if we want to give some shadow or something, all of that can be managed here. Or the only thing is wait a moment.
Can these settings be
Yes.
done by default on a template? Can you just go in, okay, I want all my visuals to have transparency on, or do you have
At
to
the
go?
moment that, at least on my case, I believe that all the templates that I release are with transparency.
Okay. Thank you.
The other thing that I use a lot and is not available by default on the visuals is the search option. In that case, we need go to get more visuals, and I will looking for this one for the text. By the way, you can filter writing text here, text. Normally, I use a lot this one, the text one. You can add that filter. And this filter permit me to start searching for certain kind of information. As an example, we have another report that is pending there. Give me a moment about licensing. But here I can put the field. I want to look in by user principal name or display name, as an example, display name. And I want to see by Sebastian. And I know that Sebastian is global administrator. The last access was this year, and the principal domain is cast demos. And I can start filter by different options. City, department, business unit, domain, and several other things. On my case, I have only 2 domains, but I have customers with the one of the biggest ones that I know have 450 different domains. If you want to identify those domains, easily we can start filtering by that. The other report that I was saying that was pending, and I will go now to the next one, is related to the license. I want to see which license are assigned to my users. Again, in the X axis, I want to take the product display name, and then the users that have that license. We will count distinct. Again, my 50,000 user make a lot of noise. I will filter by that only for a visual purpose, not contain user. Apply filter. And now we can see a more clear report about the different licenses that I have on my environment. I have 20 users with Office 365 E5. I have 70 users with EMS E5. And as we was discussing previously, the advantage from this one, I want to see which license are not in use from this 7 user. But I am still don't know who are those user, and now we will work on that table. Give me a moment only to show the border. Give the color. Give me a moment, and now we will create another page with this table. Here you can see the table, and which information I want to see. I want to see the user principal name, or in this case, I want to see the alias. I want to see the alias, I want to see the display name. I want to see the product display name. I want to see the business unit.
This is the drill down that we are going to see in the coming.
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. Continue.
Here you can see the last access. Any information that you want to see, you can drag and drop. I want to see the role for this user. That is information. Sorry, was role ID, description. Appear that I have pending one. Yes. I need to let me show this is showing an error because some of the relations are not created. For that reason, I am not seeing that information. I need to fix that on the relations. That can be a common issue sometimes if the relation is not ready. What we will do is hide this page. I am hiding this page, and I will add which kind of information I want to use for the filters. An example, city will be a filter that coming from the drill draw, or the domain can be used as a filter. Sorry, I pressed the close button. Or the office location, or the product display name. And doing this, hiding the page and adding those filters here, we can easily later select this one and have the drill through and see the details. This user have Office 365 E5. This is the alias, the display name, the department, last access. Let's see, last access here. From this one, I cannot jump to there, I believe. Yeah, I need to see why I cannot jump from that chart to this one, but here you can see the user that don't have last access and the license that are assigned to those users, and the areas, city, business unit. In that order of idea, we can start building the different report to show that data. Let me see if I can fix the relation between users and the title. Yes.
Just as Warren, that's why I see the value that the script is pulling all the users, because with this report that helped me to keep my Active Directory clean. Now we are importing the user with license, but for sure there are many users that are not using a license, and that is information that maybe in the future we are going to help to clean my Active Directory, and that is going to be updated in the script that you have.
Yeah, as I mentioned in another session, we can do that exercise to test, comment the filter, and see the data that is sent to to Logs Analytics. On my case, I don't have too many accounts and alt account. For that reason, I need to prepare the data to show that information.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you very much. Yep, and it's good until the moment. Thank you.
Let me, the last one that is pending is related to the users. is the user ID with the ID. Let me see from the roles. Microsoft Entra users with Entra roles. This is many-to-many. And let me see if now I can add the display name for the roles. Display name. Where is it? Sorry. Let me select display name. Now we can see the different roles for these users. In general, we need to take care with the relations, understand the relations. In this case was many to one. For that reason was not working because it's many to many. On this case, because a user can have several IDs and several roles assigned. For that reason, doing that change, we can start seeing this information. Alias, display name, product display name, department, last access, and what's happened now, the column names, you can, in the same visual, you can here and rename and say, okay, this is role. This is, instead of product display name, I can say license. Rename, this one can be display name, but we can remove the S. Instead of department, we can say, okay, this is the business unit. And no, so right. That is okay, no? No.
Yeah. Yeah, looks
yeah.
fine.
I can see the business unit, license, display name, and for any of these tables that we can create, we can change the names, the colors, and that kind of information. On this case, we can see the first report related to Microsoft Entra. More, I will turn now the template that is available on the cloud.
So this is the first template. Yep, go ahead to the template. Yeah.
This is the original one related to the users, domain, user by domain, last connection, last update, user by
Show me the other
department.
one that you see, just to compare. Show me
Yeah,
the other one.
Is still somehow
Yeah.
chart are not created, but the idea is explain how we can use the different pie chart, and only remains to add some additional chart and more search areas, but in general, that is the way to create this report.
How do you filter by timeline? That you specify what do you want to see? Because that is another tool that is important to use.
By timeline,
Timeline,
is with the slicer.
Yep. Can
This
you
visual,
do that just to see?
With that one, you can add the time generated, and you have now the slicer. Because in this case, I have only the information from the last 30 days. Remember, in the here on the queries, I was requesting for all my queries the last 30 days of information. In that order of idea, because I am collecting only the last 30 days, and in my information I remove the duplicate. That means I am downloading only the last information. This slicer doesn't make too many sense in this report, but this slicer can be very helpful with the MIP scanner report, with the access the external access over protected, the access review. That is the name for the report about access denied or access granted. That slicer can be very helpful to identify some activities for some specific dates.
Yep, that slicer is that's why I was asking about the slicer, because I know that we are going to use that slicer a lot, because that is the filter that we are going to use related timeline.
Yeah, the idea is we will need to have a couple of additional sessions to go forward on the report.